When I say Ruben Amorim has exposed Manchester United's weaknesses, I mean from the fan base to the team to the ownership. Every single corner of what Ruben Amorim has exposed at this football club has been wanted and needed for the last decade plus. I was listening to conversations last night on deadline day, listening to Darren McAnthony, who's the only person I listened to on deadline day on TalkSport and Sky Sports, who talks any sense in saying what Ruben Amorim has done at this football club. He's a manager that he would back. That's the chairman of a football club. Yes, it's only Peterborough, but someone who talks complete sense, talking about what Ruben Amorim has done with Mathys Rashford, with all the other situations, with what he knew he was walking into, why Manchester United didn't buy a striker right now. He absolutely slaughtered the Mathys Tel deal. I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail on that and bring you what happened in the latter stages of the transfer window last night. We'll give you updates on Tyrell Malacia as well, because that's gone quiet and nothing is official yet. There is another twist in that deal, but still going ahead. Better for Manchester United, actually. We do have good news on the injury front. No, not Lisandro Martinez, but maybe a direct replacement for him in Luke Shaw at the left wing, left centre-back. He's back in the squad for Leicester this week. You may not jump on that and think that that is positive, but we're looking at anything right now as United fan base with where we are in the league and the form on the pitch. So let's look at that. We'll look into that. I'll go through the whole list of everything that has happened, ins and outs, including three more academy players, that went in the latter stages of last night's window. The ages of them players, what they could have done, and where Manchester United will be looking now in terms of bringing players through. Who are the candidates to come through from the academy that could actually contribute to Manchester United's side? All of that jam-packed into one show. This is Forever United TV. The transfer window is over. The 4th of February. It's time to look forward, United fans. It's time to stop bitching and moaning about what could have been and what was of that transfer window. We're going to end it now in this show in terms of where we're at with our whole squad. And now we have to look forward and deal with what we've got in front of us. I know it's not great, but that's the situation. We have to now get right behind this coach, Ruben Amorim, and give him absolutely everything, full support. But let's break down what he has done so far since he's been at Manchester United, because it was crucial when he did come through the door in November that he stamped his authority on the team. He cottoned on to Marcus Rashford instantly. Within days, we were hearing of reports of fallouts. We didn't hear about it straight away, but the reports came out later on that within 4 days there was a fallout with Marcus Rashford and Ruben Amorim. Not happy with his attitude. He's called him out. The last 18 months, Rashford has been a disgrace to this football club. And people talking about him going out and smashing it at Aston Villa. Nobody at Manchester United cares. It wasn't working at United. Deal done. People using Marcus Rashford as an excuse of a body that just needed replacing. That's all these people and these players were that have left Manchester United from the first team. Their bodies that didn't contribute at all to Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. You could barely say anything, really. And Ruben has exposed them. And I think from the player side of things, and first of all in what Ruben Amorim has uncovered and exposed at this football club, is the power that they had. We all know what was going on with the players. We all know how many managers have suffered before at the hand of many Manchester United players, not just Marcus Rashford. We're not just isolating him. There was many players may have been influenced by some senior players, but definite bad eggs in this team. So that's number one for Ruben Amorim and what he has uncovered at Manchester United. More really exposed it and put it out there. It's dirty washing and he's hung it out. Everyone can see everything that is wrong with Manchester United's playing staff right now, because that's all that anybody in the media and punditry around any TV or radio station or podcast is talking about. Manchester United players, and the word disgrace pops up every single conversation. Embarrassing, disgrace. I think of a word that you could think really damned somebody, and that's what's been coming up in every single conversation about Manchester United players. They are all of that. It is shameful. It really is. And everybody's been talking about it, mainly because Ruben Amorim has brought it up. He has stood firm in the midst of all of the carnage and chaos that's been going on at Manchester United, and the need and the clamour and the pure pressure that's been put on him to actually perform and do something with this team from the media and everybody in the football industry about needing to change what he is just to fit the Premier League and fit these players. You've got to do this, you've got to do this, you can't do this. Well, no. No, Ruben Amorim has stuck to his guns, and that's why the United fan base will be behind him, because we understand, and nothing else matters. It is United against the world again right now, but for the opposite reason, because we are so bad, and we are willing to be this bad for the sake of this manager exposing everything that is wrong with this playing staff. That's where this fan base is at right now. In terms of the fan base and what he's exposed, well, he's not really. He's just, in a sense, got Manchester United fans all arguing with each other about what is good and what isn't, about the players, about the ownership. It's like what he has done on the pitch has made things worse and what's going on off it. And I don't mean that in a bad way against him. If you let me explain on this one, just hear me out on this one. I think this is one of the big problems right now. And I said this right on deadline day. I said if Manchester United beat Crystal Palace and we actually had players who could finish the dinner and put the ball in the back of the net, nobody would have been bitching and moaning about the Mathys Tel deal. Nobody would have been going anywhere near it. No one would even be that concerned about other players coming in. It would have been 4 wins in a row. United climbing the table, comfortable in Europe, looking forward to an FA Cup game this weekend against Leicester. And it would have all been nice. It would have been no sort of well, it would have been still some upset fans, but let's be honest. Off the back of a defeat, it's only going to get worse. And Manchester United having that game and that result coming out right on deadline day completely turned the fan base over into desperate measures. Ineos are a disgrace. The ownership's a disgrace. Look, none of that conversation would have been anywhere near as severe. It is still there. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not going to say that the result was the only factor in Manchester United fans being unhappy on deadline day. It wasn't, but it definitely fueled the fire. It more than fueled the fire. And that I think there's a lot of Manchester United fans who just think that the financial situation and the fact that the ownership had not spent money in January is all down on like Ineos being tight, Ineos just being the scapegoat, Ineos just being the puppet for the Glazers and things like that. Well, it's really not, is it? When did we ever make a good signing in January? Just look at the basics. Just look at everything that's gone on. You can complain about the summer all you want, but if you're going to have a go at the January transfer window, you have to put it all in perspective. And the fans have gone crazy because we haven't got a striker. Ruben has exposed what is wrong with the team, and therefore the fans automatically feel like we need to go out and buy a striker right now. Well, no, it's not the case. We've never done good business in January. Name me one good signing from a January transfer window, apart from Bruno Fernandes maybe, that Manchester United have made since Sir Alex Ferguson. Has there ever been one? You could argue Juan Mata. That was a panic buy for David Moyes because Ed Woodward was useless and didn't know how to handle a transfer market. Mr. We can do anything and stuff that other clubs can only dream of that set everything in motion for Manchester United. The Glazers are the problem, but the people that they employed were even worse because the Glazers have spent money. They spent our own money, none of their own, and that's the big problem with them because that's the debt that's hampering Manchester United right now. I get all of that. But when it comes to January transfer window, just put it in perspective and look at it and go, really, have we ever done good business? Has anybody done good business in January? Have there ever been the right players there? Was there actually a striker that was the future of Manchester United in this January transfer window that we could have gone and bought? Well, no, there wasn't. There really wasn't. No one would have been happy if United went and spent 70 million on Kunku. No one would have been happy if we spent 40 million on Tel because he's not a striker. Nobody was there. Nobody was available. You can't afford to spend 60 million, 70 million on Cunha. He's not an actual striker. The problem we've got is we've got too many players in one position and we needed a master of one trade in a striker. He wasn't there. We could not go and get somebody that wasn't there. That's the simple facts of that January transfer window. And people just want to forget it just to drive their own hate and their own anger at the Glazers and Ineos. I get all of the hate and I get all of the animosity against the ownerships of Manchester United. And you're right in what you think, but it's got nothing to do with the January transfer window. Nothing at all. If the player's not there, the player doesn't get bought. And then obviously he has also exposed the ownership. He's exposed the Glazers. He's exposed Ineos because them bringing Ruben Amorim in has made them look like complete and utter fools for what they did in the summer. And that's the balancing act that I always try and bring to it. I've seen loads of comments on my videos from yesterday saying I'm an idiot, I'm just backing the Ineos. People just need to listen to what I'm actually saying rather than jumping the gun and saying that I'm backing it. So I'm not. They're absolute clowns and idiots for backing that manager in the summer. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. That is really why Manchester United are in the position we're in right now. It's because of the decision to keep Ten Hag in the summer. So Ruben has exposed everything that is wrong at this football club. And now it's time that we backed him going forward. When you look at the Marcus Rashford situation, for instance, that there, I think, and how that was described yesterday, when I was talking about Darragh McAntony, the chairman of Peterborough, and when he was talking to TalkSport and Jim White, basically putting Jim White in his place about the Mathys Tel situation, the Marcus Rashford situation. And just on the Mathys Tel situation right now and the breakdown of that deal and how it went down, was talking about it, and when they were talking about the details of the deal. So it's a $5 million loan fee, which United didn't want to pay. So when you break that down, first of all, for Mathys Tel, $5 million for 4 months, and he was going to walk right back to Bayern Munich. So United's stance on that was, from last night, that they weren't willing to pay a fee to develop a player that really was going to be in the rotation anyway and not really be the future of this football club. They weren't willing to pay money for a player that was just going to go back to Bayern Munich. If there was an option to buy, or there was something there that Manchester United wanted to cling on to, they probably would have done it. But realistically, they just wanted a player, I think, there that they've been scouting for a long time. I don't think it was ever seriously like Manchester United going in for Mathys Tel for the sake of being a long-term project for Manchester United. I don't think they ever wanted him to be that main man. It's a player that they liked, and a player that if the right deal was there, they would have gone for. The fee was always too high, and they didn't want to pay a loan fee knowing that he was going to go back. Bayern Munich were happy. They just wanted to use the situation, like I said yesterday. They held all of the cards. And look, the player wanted to come to Manchester United. He wanted to play for Manchester United, but in the end, it looks like he wanted to also go back to Bayern Munich. And if that was the stance of the player, then it didn't matter what deal Manchester United could thrash out with Bayern Munich. They knew that that was a player that probably wasn't going to be the future of United. They tried, they scouted him, they wanted him. Obviously, he was a player that could have been useful for Manchester United, but if he's going back in 4 months, then United looked at that and went, we're not committing to short-term players. We want to make sure that these are players that are going to be at the club for a long time. And then Spurs getting all excited. The player's just going to walk back to Bayern Munich at the end of the season. You've got 4 months of a player there that is unproven in the Premier League again. And if United didn't feel like there was a future in that player, they've walked away from it. Arsenal walked away from it. There was nothing there in that worked for Manchester United for what we need right now. And I think we went into it last night that Tel would not have been the answer for Manchester United this season. He wasn't going to make a difference for us getting right back up there. It was just one of them players that everybody was looking at that was available and might have done something different for us. But he would have just been in the rotation system. He would have just been rotated in with Garnacho, with Ahmad, with Mainu. He's not going to be a number 9 striker. And you know what? All I've got right now is basically people actually having a go at the ownership and what's happening right now. I get it. I understand all of that. But really the main point is Ruben Amorim. He exposed all of this argument that's going on right now. Exposed everything. Ruben Amorim is going to literally die on his sword. Like I said in the thumbnail, Ruben Amorim is going to make sure that he sticks to his guns. He's going to make sure that he literally does everything he possibly can to hold on to his style, hold on to his system. He's not going to give up. And Ineos knew this. And in bringing this in, and listening to Darragh McAntony last night as well, and Alex Crook and Jim White and everyone talking about it. So you've got one side trying to hit Ruben Amorim down about what he's done with Rashford and the mistakes that he's made. And then you've got the other side, actually the sensible side, coming back and saying, well, this is a manager. And I remember what McAntony said, actually. He said, this is a manager that I would back fully. He has stuck to his guns. This is an elite manager right now, and he will win things and challenge Liverpool at with Manchester United. That's what he said. And he said it because it's a manager that stood up to a problem that's been plaguing Manchester United for a decade, and he's outed it in his first 3 months at the football club. He's willing to take the pain just to get that long-term gain, Ruben Amorim, and that's what Manchester United fans are behind right now. Obviously, it's still raw from the transfer window, the ownership situation, everything that's going on with that. But realistically, when you look at it, it's all about Ruben Amorim. This is all about him right now and what he has caused within this argument. He has just fueled it by doing what was necessary. And I don't think United fans were prepared to take what was to come. I wasn't. I backed the players. I didn't expect this. I thought we had more in our squad, and I was proved wrong, like I said yesterday. And I'll hold my hands up to that and say, well, I actually thought that these players could have done more. But really, he's exposed them for what they are, which for me is just unprofessional. And I've said this all along. You've got a coach there that has clearly proven they got a winning formula. You can talk about Portugal, you can talk about the standard of the league and how different it is in the Premier League, but he's a winner. And he's got a system that works with some elite players that everybody around the world is looking to take away from, that he developed and created. He's the ones. So you're looking at Inacio, you're looking at Diamanda, you're looking at Quenda, you're looking at Gyökeres. All of these players that are absolutely destroying it under Ruben Amorim have now fallen off a little bit since he's left. These players are being handpicked out by every single club in Europe right now to take to the elite level. This man is a proven winner, and he's developed a team there that is beating everybody. And we've seen it against Manchester City. And he's come to Manchester United, and the lack of professionalism within our team and our squad is there for everybody to see right now. And that's what he's up against. He's banging his head against a brick wall with this Manchester United squad, and I'm gutted. I am absolutely gutted that he hasn't been able to get more out of them. I'm, as a United fan right now, honestly, they're in the flattest I've ever been. I try to look at things and balance it in terms of the money side of things, as you all know. I know a lot of you don't like it. It's fine. I get it. But I'm not going to change. I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to be one of these fans that just comes on here and rants and raves just to suit the narrative of what's trending right now in hating on the ownership. It's just not me. I'm going to be real and just say it as it is and how I see it. And I think right now, the only thing that matters is Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim is top dog at Manchester United. And I love what he's doing. And I will back him all the way till the end. This isn't like coming out and saying, and a lot of people have said, I can't wait for, and I've had messages like this, can't wait for Adam to actually come out and start wanting this manager out because of the way I was with Ten Hag. No, I believe in a manager that is going to stand up for what he believes in, and this is what Ruben Amorim is doing. He will have my full support as a Manchester United fan from now until the end if he stays on this track and continues to do what he's doing. I don't care. We're literally at a point now where he has done everything that he possibly could in 3 months at Manchester. Not even 3 months. It's like when he came in just at the start of November. We're just over 2 months, in fact. And the amount of work that he has done in starting what was necessary and this long road to bringing Manchester United back. He has done more for me in 2 months than Ten Hag did in 2 years. Forget about finishing in the Champions League in top 4. Forget about winning the Cups, the FA Cup, and all of them moments with Ten Hag. I'd take where we are now for any of that. And yeah, it's easy for me to say that right now. I know that, and I know that a lot of people would pull me on that side of things. But still, what I look at right now is what Ruben's doing behind the scenes. And he's the only manager to come in, apart from probably Jose Mourinho, and there's an element of Louis van Gaal, but that was right in the early days of Glazenomics and Ed Woodward sort of time, and that was just crazy. But United have actively tried to cover up everything that's going on and what went on in the past with the last 5 years of business, and it's been a joke. And Ruben Amorim has done more in his 2 months than Ten Hag did in his 2.5 years at Manchester United in terms of progress. And people don't see it. It's the hidden progress. It's that hidden weakness of this football club that Ruben Amorim is attacking head on. And he's always going to be backed by me. And I think a lot of the United fan base really are at a point right now where they look at these players and they look at them and go, we don't care. We don't care. The only song I've heard sang over the last, apart from Viva Garnacho, when it was a bit of a clamour for keeping him and making sure that he wasn't sold this window. I feel like that song, Ruben Amorim, Ruben's at the Wheel, I think it was, is the only one I've heard sung from the hardcore Manchester United fans within Old Trafford, with anybody. That's it. So the fans are done with the players. They really don't care. It's up to them now. We're all waiting now to see. Look, Ruben has outed the crap, and now we've still got work to do in the summer, obviously. Not everybody can go in 2 transfer windows, but I think we're moving in the right direction in terms of this playing staff. I really do. And I want to move on into this video. I'm going to get your comments in a minute. And give you your chance, obviously, but I want to move on to what Manchester United can do. I am going to break down the window in a moment as well after we've come to you on your comments, so let's just get into them first of all. Please give the video a like, everybody. We have over 1,600 people in the room, which is mega again for the morning show. Love that. Please, we're just under 200 likes. We should be on way more than that. Even if you don't agree with my opinion on ownership and things like that, just give the video a like, because I'm being honest. And I think that's what's more important in the situation we're in right now. A super chat in from Block. I'll try one more time. 2 free tickets for Leicester on Friday. Sir Alex Ferguson, tier 2, row 4. Really good seats. Don't want any money. You'll need to be a United member so that I can transfer them to you. DM me. You didn't need to give me a super chat for that, mate. Sorry, but I am going to read it out just for the sake of it being a super chat. But yeah, if anybody wants to go and watch United on Friday, then Block is selling his tickets. Again, I don't think Block is too happy with the team at the moment, and he's happy to sit out some games. I know a lot of United fans that actually aren't bothered about this team right now. They care for Ruben Amorim, but they're not bothered about this team. They don't want to watch these players pathetically run around the pitch, not understanding the system. I will never forgive this team, and I will never forgive anybody who actually thinks that this is Ruben Amorim's fault because he's tried to implement a new system into a professional football club. I will say that again. A professional, elite football club. And these players are supposed to be the best. They're not. That's what I want to get across. Ruben Amorim is expecting these players to actually understand what he wants. It's not rocket science. This is something that you have been living with your whole entire lives. I'm not having the fact that these players are crap and don't understand. Sorry, not crap, but that don't understand this system. It's not right. It's not right. You're either just not a good footballer. That's it. No, you're just not a good footballer. If you cannot understand the different system, then you're just not good enough. It's as simple as that. And this is going to take time for Ruben to now out these players. And it's going to take longer than what we all thought. Because, like me, I think a lot of United fans actually thought that some of these players were actually going to be good enough to play in Ruben Amorim's system. But we were so badly wrong. We were. And until he starts bringing his players in, that we cannot even think about judging him. We cannot. And Ineos will back him. I'm confident they will get behind him. And by that, I mean definitely not bleeding sacking him because things are not going well on the pitch and where we are in the league is a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace. But this is all on the players now. This is all on the players. The recruitment side of it, we can go into detail another time. But seriously, these players right now are where the problem is at Manchester United. And in time, we will get there. In time, we can get there. So in terms of the transfer window, no, actually, sorry, I was going to get your comments in there. Sorry, let's just get a few more in. Sorry, mate, didn't Tottenham get an option to buy at the end of the loan? Yeah, he did. It's an option for them to buy, but Tel can walk away from it as well. So he doesn't have to accept. He can still walk back. In that deal, which nobody's talking about, is that Mathys Tel does not have to stay at Spurs. There is a buy option, but he can still overrule that by going back to Bayern, but no one who wants to pick up on that. They just want to use the narrative that United wasn't going to spend the money on a 19-year-old. Manchester United's valuation of Tel might have been less. Bayern Munich have taken advantage of a transfer window, and that literally is what I said yesterday. It's like buying hold the cards. They don't want to sell. They don't need to sell, and they don't need to loan into anybody. So if anyone's going to come in, they're going to have to pay over the odds because they're desperate. United didn't want to look to be desperate. Who else is desperate in this Premier League? Yeah, Tottenham. And they are desperate. And they have gone and got it done. Ange Postecoglou's call and trying to get him across and feeding him projects. What a load of crap. What a load of crap. I'm not having that at all. You've got to convince a 19-year-old to come to your club that you've got to spend money on that's going to be there for 4 months. Do you really want that? I mean, yeah, if you're desperate enough, go for it. Look at the teams that turned it down. United turned it down. Arsenal turned it down. They went for it. I'm not saying that United anywhere near the right run club like Arsenal is at the moment, but still United seen a warning sign in this deal and they didn't go for it. That's all I'm saying. There's 2 sides to a story here, and I'll go back on it again. If you want to use Mathys Tel as an example for Ineos being tight or poor ownership, then I think you're really barking up the wrong tree. He wasn't the answer. He wasn't long term, and I think the player really isn't fully invested in playing in the Premier League. We'll see. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. He might smash it for Spurs. They might go out and then buy him permanently. But I guarantee you, when everybody's fit in that Spurs side, he won't be getting guaranteed game time. He'll be part of a rotation with Son, with Kulusevski, with Brennan Johnson, with Dominic Solanke. He'll be in a rotation with all of them. He isn't going to be a main player for Spurs. He's just another option for him. And are you willing to spend that much money on a player like that isn't fully committed to going into your team in the future? That's where I think United are at with it. And obviously, that's how I've read it. That's what's been said. So on that side of it, I will take the L if I'm wrong. But we'll judge it at the end of the season and let's see. I hope I hope I am right. I really do on this one. But if I am wrong, then yeah, we can then probably go in on Ineos. But at the moment, with the way that Manchester United are, would he have really excelled to a point where you're thinking he is the future? That's what you've got to look at. Maxi Vera, welcome to the members club as well. Greg, who has just renewed his membership. Hey peeps, Adam, keep doing your thing, mate. You're intelligent and you do your research. Most of us understand that where we are and what the plan is. Thank you for that, Greg, mate. I really appreciate that. Look, nobody's wrong in what you're saying in the comment section. I don't mind you having a go at me or disagreeing with me at all. I really don't. It's good old football debate. I just look at it a different way, and I just want people to be aware, because I don't think sometimes, like a lot of people do a lot of the digging down into the deals and stuff like that. I just think, right, okay, if this is a player that Manchester United have looked at for 18 months, recruited him, watched him, wanted him, didn't get him before, the right player, why have they walked away from a deal? Why have they walked away from a deal in January? There is something there that didn't fit. It doesn't add up, and that's how I look at it a little bit. Why would we not pay $5 million? I get where United are coming from. $5 million isn't a lot, but if it's $5 million for a player to play for 4 months, and then they know, and they've got an inkling that he's going to go straight back, then I would be out of that deal as well. I would be. Tel was a no guarantee signing, not someone you can hang your hat on and say that's the man to fire us up the league, says Boxing. No, that's just being real and honest, and Boxing is bang on the money. That's how I look at it. I get the fact that we're not spent money. I get the fact that we haven't brought players in. I really do. But Tel is not the right example. Tel is not someone to basically say and use as an example that this is all going wrong under Ineos. He's not. And fans are using him as that sort of like that player that proves that Ineos are bad for United and it's all the Glazers' fault. I just don't think it was with the uproar that there is right now. Everything else behind the scenes, yeah, that's where all the big issues are. But not Tel. Definitely not. Mr. Dacia Sandero says, hi Adam. It looks like Joe Hugel and Obi Martin will now be asked to try and help the best they can. Joe Hugel's gone on loan, mate. Can up top. We need to manage these players, guys. We need to manage these guys correctly. There are late call for Bailey last night. Bailey was off 2 days ago. We heard that. Wasn't even getting excited. In terms of Tyrell Malacia, by the way, I'm just updating you all on where the actual transfer window ended last night. Tyrell Malacia did have his medical. It's just not been officially announced yet. And that's all it is. So in terms of players out, first team players for Manchester United were Marcus Rashford, Antony and Tyrell Malacia. Tyrell Malacia's deal is actually now got a buy option in there as well. It was thought first of all that PSV were just a straight loan. That's not now in play. Now that's not the case. More talks last night, and it was Ty Marshall and I think Stephen Railsford as well of the MEN. We're reporting late last night that Tyrell Malacia actually has a buy option now. It's not a straight loan. So United definitely making it clear that they want Tyrell Malacia out of the football club as well. And I think that's the right thing to do. I've seen people on Twitter say, why are we getting rid of Tyrell Malacia? Look, again, goes back to Ruben Amorim. The whole thing goes back to Ruben Amorim. He's a manager that isn't willing to buckle under the pressure of playing certain players because they're there. He's only going to use players if they are going to work for him. And these players are not. And he's made it very, very clear that they are not the players for him. And he's not even said it, he's done it in action as well as words by not playing him. Look, Malacia's been there for well over a month right now. How many games has he started? he's not started anything. He started one against Steaua Bucharest the other night, and he was average at best for me. He's not using him, so he doesn't want him around. So United have to obviously use that to then make money to bring somebody else in. We can't bring anyone else in January. We brought Dorgu in, so really when you look at it, Malacia's gone because Dorgu's come in. Good business. Yeah, good business. A player that Ruben wants, a player that Ruben will use, a younger player that he could probably mould into what he really, really wants in his system, hopefully. And there's no guarantees with Dorgu either. But one player out, one player in. That was the situation. We only had a certain amount of money, and left wing back has been destroying Diogo Dalot this season. So inconsistent with it. Maybe Dalot on his natural right-hand side now might be better in this role. And we've got two forward-thinking-ish in Dalot wing backs right now in the side, and that's where we go from there. But yeah, Malacia, that was where he was last night. That's the deal. So it's Anthony, Rashford, and Tyrell Malacia that have left Manchester United on loan, as we know. Majority of wages covered for all them players. Good deals, and United will actually probably make money off all of them deals with the bonuses that are in play as well. And they've saved a shed load of money for the PSR deadline, which is going to be June. We can't afford to be hampering Ruben Amorim with point deductions. I actually do think that United were very, very close. They had money to spend, which was Dorgu, but that threshold and that cut-off line for PSR was very close. I remember listening to David Ornstein talking about this as well. So that's literally why Manchester United couldn't do any business. They weren't willing to spend anything that wasn't necessary. And Ruben Amorim with point deduction next season, that would have been the biggest insult to a manager in the history of the Premier League in what he's had to deal with already at Manchester United. So understand that a bit. In terms of other players that have left, so this is your list of Manchester United academy players, you could say, that have left Manchester United on loan. So Dangor, central midfielder, he's 20 years old right now. Ethan Ennis, he's a right winger at Manchester United's under-21s. He's 20 as well. Joe Hugel, 21. Ethan Williams, left winger at United, he's 19. Ethan Wheatley, he's gone on loan as well, as we know. He's 19 as well. Lewis Jackson went last night, and so did Sam Mavor. Lewis Jackson, 19-year-old centre-back, he's gone out on loan. Sam Mavor, another forward, centre-forward for Manchester United, he's gone out on loan as well. So United actively have let go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forwards that might have actually contributed to Manchester United's first team or been an option there. I had a problem with that, and I brought that up last night. I did, and I thought, you know what, surely 19, 20-year-old players, they're filled out. They're robust enough. Manchester United must have looked at this academy, or when Ruben's come in, or whatever happens, or what's happening with the structure right now under Wilcox, and what's happening at Manchester United behind the scenes. They have to have looked at these players and gone, if we're going to be getting rid of the likes of Anthony and Rashford in the window, and then getting rid of 5 more forwards from our academy between the ages of 19 and 20, then these players really are just not good enough. And United have just said, no, they're not going to do, out the door. So where are you at in your opinions with that? I said last night I thought it was stupid that we didn't actually give Joe Hugel a go at least on the bench. He could have done something. 21-year-old centre-forward, good in the air, scored goals on the tour, has scored goals for United's first team on different occasions, has scored goals for wherever he's gone out on loan. Yeah, he's not elite level, nowhere near it, but I had an issue with letting him go out on loan. I thought he could have done a job. That was the one that I thought, you know what, just keep him around. He's old enough. He's the most experienced out of all of them young academy players that I've just spoke about there, and he could have maybe offered something to Manchester United throughout the rest of this season. Definitely an option off the bench anyway. I didn't get that, and that's something I will hold against Manchester United on that one. I thought that one, we could have done something with that, but the rest of them, none of them are featured at all for Manchester United's first team, apart from Ethan Wheatley, who made a couple of appearances off the bench for Ruud and for Erik ten Hag. Barely got 20 minutes in total game time, and probably has been a little bit off it this season as well. Have these players actually got anything at all? That's what you've got to look at, and the question there. But I mean, I'll come to the chat again on this one. Was there anyone else that you thought you could have kept hold of? By the way, thank you everybody for all the likes that are coming in as well. We have got just under 1,900 in the room with us. Thank you so much for your support again. Let's get into some more. I've got a couple more super chats that have just come in. Maka says, finally aren't panic buying and fans are outraged. It's the point. It's what's gone wrong in the past and why we are now in the position we are in. Big summer for sure. Definitely agree with that one, Maka. Well said. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. We've just had a super chat in without a chat on it from London. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Let's be honest. We had the chance to get rid this club of all the debts, and PSR wouldn't be an issue. Jim has further facilitated the demise of this club. I have zero sympathy and I am disgusted. That's Block's opinion. He's given up on it. My opinion on it is I am willing to give Ineos a little bit more time to see what they can do. I don't expect anybody to turn this ship around, which has been sinking for over a decade, in the space of 18 months. That's just my stance on it. I would like to see where we're at in another 3 years' time, just to really gauge what Ineos have done. I don't think we can judge them right now. Honestly, the ticket pricing and things like that, I'll always go back to that and go, what the hell are you thinking? That is just stupid. Attack the players first. Deal with the main issue which has caused Manchester United's demise, and then go to maybe see what the fans could do to help out. Don't hit the fans straight away. Has Hugo actually been recalled? Oh, I've missed that, actually. No, Hugo was recalled, but I thought he was sent back out on loan. I need to double check on that one. There's a few different opinions on this right now. I'm just going to double check on this one because he was recalled, and then I seen that he had gone back out on loan. Unless I have missed something completely in this one here. No, he's gone back to Carlisle. He's on loan at Carlisle. So, yeah, I thought it was right. I thought it was right in that one there. Just going to double check that was what was happening when he came back. So, yep. What's that? Carlisle. Left, joined, come back, end of loan. Yep. Just trying to double check on everything here. January 17th, he went from Manchester United to Carlisle on loan. Yep. He's gone on loan. That basically is that. Just double checking everything here. It's a bit confusing in the list, actually. But I'm convinced he's gone. If he's not, then that's great because we can still use him. But I'm actually convinced he was recalled. I know he was recalled, but he went back out on loan again. I'm sure he did. Left Carlisle in May. No, he's gone on loan to Carlisle. It's as simple as that. Yeah, he has gone back out on loan. He was recalled from Wigan. He's gone back on loan to Carlisle again. Double loan. Recalled and then brought back. Yeah, there is a few people that did look at, and you're right, he was recalled from Wigan, but he has been sent back out on loan to Carlisle. God, I just needed to double check that then. I was doubting myself there for a minute. I thought, no, I've seen that before. He's definitely gone back out on loan, but no, that's where we're at with it. In terms of Man United's options, when you look at it right now, in the United's academy, you've got Gabe Bianchere and you've got Chido Obi-Martin. They're United's only options within the academy to bring through right now. And we are looking at this now being a possibility that both of these players will come through. That's an 18-year-old Bianchere and a 17-year-old Chido Obi-Martin. They're the next players in line that may be, I think, have got any sort of chance of even getting a sniff of first team match day squad. Never mind game time. I think none of the players that Manchester United could look to. And it's going to be a point where United do get an injury going into the back end of the season. Touch wood, I don't hope for that to happen. I'm just saying, you know what it's like. We've just seen what's happened to Leacher. This could happen at any point, and it would just completely derail Manchester United. We're already derailed anyway, aren't we? We're already off the track. But let's be honest, if we got another injury up front right now, I don't know where we would go. And that, for me, I think is ultimately what United's options are right now. That's the only option we've got in terms of players that we could possibly integrate in. Another forward option for United. Both having excellent seasons. I mean, Bianchere's got 17 and 17 in terms of goal contributions this season throughout the 18s and under 21s. He's had a fantastic season. Obviously, like I said, he's just had surgery on his arm injury right now, so he will be back and obviously firing. Hopefully, he can contribute. He's a quality player. Absolute quality player. I love him. When I've watched him, he's been absolutely brilliant. Chidowobby Martin, we know all about. We do. And do you know what? When you look at everything, you look at the injury to Lisandro Martinez, defensively, I'm really not that concerned too much at the moment. I'm not. Like, change the goalkeeper and I think we'll be all right. I like the look of, like, you've got Shaw coming back. And again, I know, don't get too excited, but he's back and should be in the matchday squad for Leicester. You've got Aidan Heaven now, young prospect that we just brought in. 1.5 million we spent, by the way, on Aidan Heaven. That was the fee, which is about the going rate to take the academy players over. So you've got him coming through. You've got Sekou Kone now, who's performing, who has just turned 19 as well. So he's coming of age. He's at that age now where you're expecting these players to actually start knocking on the door. 1920 is when you really need to start seeing progress. He is starting to play really well in Manchester United's academy, at United's academy level now, Sekou Kone. So that, I think, is a big positive coming through the ranks. Again, though, it's the goals, isn't it? United will spend a big chunk of change, I think, on a forward this summer. It has to be the main priority, and it has to be the right man. I think we are looking at the likes of Gyökeres. I think he's the one that United wants. I think he's the one that United will go out and get. And then what we can do around that, I think midfield 10s were stacked at the moment. If we're bringing in someone like Sekou Kone, does that mean that we have got a midfielder already coming into our ranks? So I'm hoping. I am. I'm sort of clutching at straws a little bit that these players are going to come through and be the players that we have recruited. Because it will be an absolute massive plus point. Not just for Ineos, but mainly for the people that Ineos have brought into Manchester United. The whole conversation about the best in class, that is what we're looking at there with that. So, for instance, if we get Sekou Kone coming through and the recruitment from Christopher Vival on that side of it, and he turns out to be a good squad player for Manchester United for 1 million, then that is a positive for Manchester United moving forward. If Chidowobby Martin does turn out to be this striker and we've got him in, that's another massive, huge positive for Manchester United. And then you're looking at Diego Leon being cover for Dorgu. I don't know, maybe Leon will come in and be even better than Dorgu. We don't know. But again, cheap signings that actually are coming through because they've been properly recruited. This is what we need to give time. So in 3 years' time, and these players come through, do you think any Manchester United fan is going to be saying, oh, credit to Ineos and the people that they brought in? No, they won't. They'll be forgotten about, won't it? But that's what I just want to hold on to. It's like, give it time to see what happens. Give this recruitment team time. Give this football structure time. It's not going to happen overnight. We're literally just in the first year now going over. And that's it. And I'm just trying to look at it more positively than a lot of what a lot of people are doing right now. And again, I'll just go back to saying it. Anybody who is feeling that this is the end and it's not good and they have got no hope for United, I haven't got a problem with that. You're not wrong. It's your opinion on what you see it as. That's all I'm saying. Before you actually slaughter me, abuse me, and have a go at me for having an opinion on it, that's all we've all got. We've all got our own opinions on how we see things, and I won't shoot anyone else down. So appreciation level coming back the other way. So if you want to be that person that goes down the abusive road, go for it. You won't get any time from me. But I understand the frustrations of everybody at this football club at the moment, and the fan base in particular. We are being shafted by Ineos on the prices. I do agree with that. Like, that is not right and not fair. But in terms of the football, I need to give it more time before I can really judge it. I really do. And going back to the start of the show and what we said, if it's Ruben Amorim, I think Ruben Amorim will carry Manchester United. I think what he is and what he is doing right now is everything that an owner absolutely loves. He is not bottling it. He is not falling under the spell of these players. He is outing them, and Ineos are acting on it. So let's see now in the summer the real test for Ineos, and this is where we will be judging them on what they do for Ruben Amorim. Block says Gyökeres won't come if we aren't in Europe. He'll have better offers. He might do, but that's up to Ruben Amorim and Ineos again. What can they do? No European football, no attraction for signings. Why ruin your career at Manchester United? They've got to do more. That's what the football structure is there for. We had at least one good youth striker. We should have kept seeing him play pre-season. Who is that one, mate? Just let me know who you thought that was. Ryan, we already dropped Jan window and lack of and now dreaming of summer. I get trying to be hopeful, and raiding the academy is now our only hope to fill gaps. Look, we've always wanted to actually promote our youth players. Isn't this what United fans always wanted? Stop buying overpaid, prima donna, overprivileged players and trust in some younger players, play the youth players. We're nearly there. We're nearly there with it. We're going to see him get the chance now, because we have got rid of some of the headaches at this football club. Look, it might not work, but you've got to give it a go. You've got to give it a chance. Look, I understand if you don't agree with my sort of trying to positively spin this. I always do it, but it's a tough spot. Honestly, I've given up on the players. I've given up on this team actually being the team that's going to take United forward. I've had to accept that, like I said. And going forward, we're going to see if anyone comes through from the academy, and we are going to have to wait it out now until the summer to see what else comes through the door. David Ornstein said it yesterday. United's window will be, like people are saying there, maybe we won't get the best players because we've not got European football. But that's going to come down to then Manchester United looking at the next options that we can actually bring in. And there's a lot of fans that have said before that they would rather just drop right down and start afresh and actually just get rid of everybody and then start rebuilding Manchester United. And I would accept that we have to get rid of everybody and then we cannot bring in the best players. We have to accept that we are a mid-table side in the Premier League now and go again and build up from there. So maybe we won't be able to spend the right amount of money in the summer on the best players. Maybe they will go elsewhere. But maybe Manchester United can actually start rebuilding this team with players that we didn't expect to be the right players, because we have got a decent football structure in place. We may have some of the best talent coming through in our academy right now. All if buts and maybes and a bit of hope. That's all it is right now. But I have to try and look at it as Manchester United. I don't know. Like we've turned the page. We have. It's not been pleasant. It's not been impressive for a lot of Manchester United fans. They expect a lot more because it's Manchester United. I get it, but still, like we have actually made a stance against what has been causing this issue, and that's what I will always look to. And in time, I may be proved wrong, completely wrong, but I just think we need to give this a chance. It is a year in to really hitting the core issue of what this club has been going through. We're a year into it, and nobody expected Man United to have turned this around. Nobody expected United to turn this around within 1 year. So it's going to take a long time to do this. And the big steps, and I think the hard decisions are now being made. And that's what we have to look at as a positive. Look, cue all of the abusive comments and everything that comes in after the show is finished. Try and be polite about it and say things the right way. I get it. If you don't see it, United are 13th in the league. Says it right there at the bottom of the screen. I can't argue with the stats. The table never lies. We are a crap football team at the moment. I just don't think that we could have changed that in January. That's all I'm saying. Give it time. Let's see what happens in the summer. And hopefully, Ruben Stott's playing Andre Onana. No, I'm joking. I'm only joking. Honestly, though, great show again, everybody. I understand the patience needed to listen to what I'm saying in terms of looking at the positive side of things. I get all of your comments about why this club is never going to move forward. But we have to support it, don't we? It's our team. It's our club. We're not going to go anywhere else. We're still going to be here debating it and talking about it forever and a day, aren't we? But look, let's just see what happens. The season, I think, is a write-off. It really is. It depresses me and it really hurts me to actually say that, but I've had to accept it. I'm hoping that something happens in Europe when we scrape through and get something. But yeah, and there you go right there. Ant L with a super chat. Likely to be 16th come Monday. It's the FA Cup weekend. How can we drop even further when we're not even playing in the Premier League? That's what you got to look at as well, honestly. I can't convince you. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to just try and put a different angle across to it. I will be upset as anybody if United don't climb this table. But you all know me. I did try and give them a chance. I'm not just giving up because it's like what everybody else is doing. I'm not going along with the trend. I actually just don't now. I actually see now that this team just hasn't got it in them to play under Ruben Amorim. I'd love for him to prove me wrong, but look, behind Ruben Amorim is where I am, and that's where I'll always be. Sorry, a week on Monday, you meant. Yeah. It's just an obvious one, but yeah, cheers for the super chat, mate. Cheers for all of the comments. Thank you everybody for being part of the show. Great show again, great numbers in. Please give the video a like. We're over 500 live likes. Brilliant, thank you. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well, everybody. Really appreciate all of your support. We're on the road to 75k. And let's see going forward. We're now looking forward to the FA Cup game on Friday. It's going to be a busy old week now. Back to football talk, everybody. I'll keep you updated with all of the news as it comes out. Make sure you've got your notifications on as well, so you miss out on none of the content coming out of United. It doesn't stop here because the window stops. The content keeps flying out, everybody. So let's get into it. And obviously, loving that you're all there as well with all of the videos that have gone over the window and going forward again, hopefully. Cheers, everyone. I will see you all later on today. Have a good one. Try not to be too downbeat. Hopefully we beat Leicester. We're getting a step closer to getting another trophy and at least getting into the Europa League. We're good in the FA Cup.